Hello everyone and welcome to the third part of Let's Play Darkest Hour as Ottomans. Now first of all, let me thank all of you for the enthusiasm and likes and views and everything. You have been great. If you were so enthusiastic about every Let's Play I do, I would have 10 times more subscribers now. But anyways, let's look at the Ottoman Empire. Now before we start playing, I still have a couple things to go over, so bear with me here. First thing is the terminology. Now, I rewatched the episode 2 and I realized I haven't really explained how the soldiers in this game work. Now, there's a term, unit, which I will use loosely for any stack or even one concrete piece of an army. Unit, when I talk about unit, can mean anything, okay? However, the game has a very good way how to interpret the real world army system. Now, I know that many of you are interested in World War I and World War II, but I don't know if you ever bothered to check how armies are organized. Now, if we forget about all the small unit types as platoon and brigade, we will get to the smallest unit that is in the game, which is division. For example, this is a division, the 30th Piade Tumeni. Piade means infantry, Tumeni means 10,000. So this is a division. Division is a unit which contains 10,000 soldiers or cavalrymen or whatever. The game will give us divisions. For example, this is Suvari Tumeni, which means cavalry division. And we will use these to create what are referred to as corps. Now, corps are consisting of 2 or more divisions. Usually they have 4 or 3, but can be much bigger or can be only 2 divisions in size. Now, these are referred to in the game as kolordu, which in Turkish means corps. 2 or more corps consist, together they create an army. An army in Turkish is called ordu. For example, here we have the first ordu. I'm not going to use the Turkish numbers because that would confuse the hell out of you, so I'll use a mix in between Turkish and English. So for example, this is the second kolordu, which means the second army corps, but it consists of the first army. So the game is using it, well, it's hard to name it properly, but I want you guys to know what I mean when I will be speaking about divisions, corps, and armies. Okay, I guess you kind of understand that. If you have any questions, just let me know. Just FYI, there is bigger army units than armies. They're called army groups, and then there are theaters which consist of many army groups. But for our sake and for this Let's Play, I think we will never get past armies. Okay, now I hope you guys will not hate me for explaining that in so much detail, and we can start. We'll start by looking at our army corps and armies and maybe splitting them into certain divisions and reorganizing them. Now, as I mentioned before, we will face a couple of fronts. One will be here in between the Turkish and Russian territories. By the way, one thing that's going to be a pain for us is that this entire area is mountainous. And I don't know if you realize that, but fighting in mountains takes forever and is extremely hard to make any progress in. For example, in the real Italian front, they were fighting in these provinces, and when they made a major breach in 1918, I think, they moved by 10 kilometers and exchanged that for thousands and thousands of wounded. And it was considered the biggest breach in many months. So, yeah, let's hope we won't get stuck up in such trench warfare in our campaign. Okay, we'll have to reorganize this. Now, cavalry won't be much use to us in here because it's, well, basically the division of cavalry is weaker than infantry, but is faster. That's their main strength. They're fast. So I checked the territory, and pretty much the only way where they could be of any use are these plains or maybe this desert, but they won't help us there that much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have this third army here in the province of Elazik, and we'll use it as a reserve army. However, we will only keep how many? Well, let's create another army corps that we will keep, and we'll send the third army HQ into Elazik. We'll have, we have a cavalry unit here as well, cavalry division. I have to remember, if I ever get confusing, just kick me in the comments and I will try to improve. So let's send this cavalry division back in here, and that leaves 2 infantry divisions in Erzurum and 3 infantry divisions in Trabzon. Okay, and we'll have a cavalry division, 2 cavalry divisions and an army HQ in Elazik, which will be the 3rd army. Now together we'll consider this entire, all of these divisions will be considered a 3rd army. So then we don't really have any difficulty to split these into 2 army corps and send them into these provinces. Thus, we will have 6 infantry divisions in Trabzon, 6 in Erzurum, and 2 reserve cavalry divisions in Elazik that can support our defense if necessary. Now, as we'll approach war, I might send them into Erzurum or Trabzon and try to make a quick breach. If we could manage to push the Russians back, say to... If we manage to push the Russians, say, beyond Grozny and into the plains of southern Russia, that would be great. But the Georgia territory will be, well, it won't be good. We'll probably hope for a breach if we'll be able to. Trabzon would be under attack most of the time. Erzurum can only be attacked from Kars. So yeah, and especially when you look at that, Kars has border defenses. Yeah, it has land fort of the 3rd level. We have land fort 4 and land fort 0 in Trabzon. Oh, that's painful. Anyways, now I guess I could talk a bit about what you guys commented on this video. You were surprisingly supportive of the approach, which will be historical, of us joining together with Germany and Austria-Hungary in the war. So I guess I'll go with it. It will make the best LP, despite us probably losing and getting hurt. But you know, it's the historical way. Okay, now this is the 4th army. It's very small, but we'll unite this one and keep it in Basra, because Kuwait is an ally of Great Britain. So in case we get a declaration of war, we'll quickly take it by the 4th army. Okay, I will talk about Great Britain joining later on. Now, this will be a bit tricky. If we manage to make a breakthrough and quickly take Sharm el-Sheikh, El Arish, Al-Kantara and Burstafik, we will be safe, because there will be river crossing between us and the enemy, and that means we would be happy. So we'll send the second army in Eilat and into Gaza, and we'll keep them on the borders there. Now, the first army is kinda big. I'm not sure where these are probably parts of the first army. Well, the enemy should try to land in Gallipoli, historically, but we have land forts, coastal forts there. So it would be safe to assume that we'll be able to take it and hold it. And I'm not even sure if there are Marines so early in the game. They should not be able to land anywhere other than in the provinces that are marked with this little shore icon. So that means Istanbul, Izmit, Bursa, and Gallipoli, yeah. And then Antakya, Beirut, anymore? Oh, and Zonguldak. And Basra, but we'll have Basra covered by the 4th Army. Which leaves me to the fact that we might want to reorganize this a bit, and because the landing parties won't be big, they will be quite weak. So we might even hold certain provinces with, say, 1 or 2 units. So let's create a separate division, which will be, what is this? Major General Sinope. He's a commander. Let's put someone less important there. Oh, we don't have anyone else than Major Generals. Okay, so this 4th Ottoman Corps will be sent to Zonguldak, and we'll split these into 2 as well, and send the 5th Kolordu to Antakya, and this unit will take Beirut, and in case it's necessary it will support, this is the 2nd Army, yes, 2nd Army in their fight against the British. Now what about you guys? This is sort of a free unit for us, so let's send you to Gallipoli. But I'd feel safer if we had some units here, if we kind of strengthen the 3rd Army, because we'll face several divisions of Russians, and if we make a quick breakthrough that would be useful. So what I might do is send the 3rd Kolordu to Lazik as a reserve army corps. You guys are going to Gallipoli. So let's split you and put 2 of the units in Bursa and keep them there in case an attack happens. And we might want to put 2 more units into Gallipoli, just, you know, to cover the land. Now, this constitutes of our army situation. As I mentioned, we have no aircraft at all. And what's worse is the fact that we won't even be able to research it. Because when I did a secondary check after the video, I found out that the recon fighter requires 2 skills, aeronautics and aircraft testing. And we have no one with these skills, not even a single person. So not only are our teams pretty weak, I think I talked about the skill value before, but just to compare, most of the German or say English or French teams have a skill of 6 to 9, and we are mostly around 3, so 3 to 4 with Georg Meyer with the skill of 7. So he's the only, I guess, skilled researcher we have. So it's going to be a problem. Regarding the research, you guys made a lot of sense. I actually had the same ideas as you. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the 1907 Infantry. Now there is a huge mathematical background to how the teams research, but I'm not going to go into that because I consider it quite gamey and I'm playing this to have fun, not to do equations and stuff like that. So pretty much if you have a team that has extra skills, the ones you need, for example for infantry that's general equipment, artillery, electronics, munition and training, I'm going to put those teams into that research. So we have say, well, pretty much these two teams, either one of them will be good. And we need a 1907 infantry. It's kind of fun that we have every single unit of the 1907, but we haven't really researched it yet, so that's kind of funny. So let's go with that. It's going to be the first thing we'll research. Second thing we are going to research and start with is going to be the census tabulating. Now, this is giving us only a plus 3% research modifier. On the other hand, it was researched in 1897, so way long in the past, and thus will be very quick to research it. So let's give it to Istanbul University. And the last one, well, I was thinking about researching the recon fighter, but as we have no one with the skill and we don't have the historical year, well, we have the historical year, and actually it was 4 years ago, but we have no one with the required skill, and some of these are extremely hard. I think it might be better to wait for the blueprints to arrive. And early in the war we really don't need it that much, so hopefully Germany will be generous and stick the blueprints into our pockets and butts. So instead we are going to go with a land doctrine, which we have blueprints for, which is leading by task. I usually go with leading by orders, but the difference isn't that big here, so we'll go with leading by task. We even have a skilled person for it. Hassan Izzet will research it for us, will he? If we found someone with, I don't know what skill this is, but we don't have anyone with it, right. So we pretty much have just Hassan. He has large unit tactics and infantry focus, so he'll research that for us. Wait, one more thing that I need to consider before we start. Do we have... Well, blood transfusion would be great, but that one is in 1915, an early Great War hospital. That helps with the attrition and trickleback modifier, so it might be good to research that. But we don't have blueprints for it, and we'll get them. Agriculture would be another great thing. It helps industrial efficiency and supplies, or production, because that one gives industrial efficiency. We'll go for those as soon as possible, but the thing is we pretty much need the blueprints, otherwise we'll spend years researching this. So let's go with what we have, and that's the leading by task. Okay, Hassan, it's up to you. Okay, so we got that covered.